can you give us a quick 101 on how to start getting in touch with our guides, our inner voice, our inner child, our inner
Yes,
wisdom?
absolutely. So I invite my clients to at least once a day. And I used to do this at night before I went to bed, and I would call upon all my inner children. Sometimes you will just see one, sometimes you'll see many. Sometimes you'll even see little boys and girls from other lifetimes.
Mm-hmm.
They all want that love and attention. They're no different, they're all connected. And I would ask, how can I serve you best? How can I love you in the highest and greatest good? How can I serve? Um, uh, what was it? How can I serve you best? How can I love you? What are your wants and needs? You know.
Okay, so I've got a question now because okay, because for me, now I'm also someone who's trying to be a recovering workaholic. But if I ask that every day, that's going to mean, okay, I'm just going to stay in my pajamas. I'm going to play. I'm going to paint. I'm going to eat ice cream. I'm going to, probably for about a year to help like replenish
You're
myself.
so cute.
Yeah.
Actually,
So
a
how
lot
do
of people
we,
ask that. A lot of
yeah.
people think, "Oh, my inner child is going to want to eat cake and cookies and ice cream."
Uh-huh. And not,
I,
definitely not work.
I said, actually, they know you have to adult. They know you have certain responsibilities. It's meeting their needs, and like I said, they're very simple. So you, like back when I was still a workaholic, I was still implementing these things. So that again, this is why I had to go through this so I could share with other versions of me. This beautiful blonde version called Amy that is also part of me. And
A little bit
so
behind you.
I would give her one day, at least one day that was hers. And I remember I got called into a real estate meeting. I was selling this house, and it was like a $2.5 million house. And I was like, well, I got to go. I overrode her wishes. It was her
Mm,
day. It was Sunday, was her day. I
mm,
overrode her. She kicked my ass. Not only did I take the meeting on her day that I had already honored to make her day, I got stuck in that meeting for 5 hours.
mm.
And she was pissed. I was super resentful because she was resentful. She resented me for compromising her after I said I wouldn't. And then I resented the client. I resented the work. I resented myself. And so that's what I mean by kicking your ass.
Got
She will
it.
kick your ass. So you take care of her first. And then she's like, yeah, Amy, you can be boss lady. Yeah, Amy, you can be, super hot girlfriend. Yeah, Amy, you could do all of these things and be the superstar, in your life and your relationships, but not over her, not
Mm-hmm.
compromising her. You do not negotiate with little Amy. Use always her first. And then she's like, yeah, we can go. I'll give it another example. I remember my husband and I were working on our mountain house years ago, and I already see clients all week long, and my weekends were sacred. And I would go up to the mountain. This was my retreat house.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, aren't you going to paint those doors or those windowsills or something that day? And I looked at him and I was like, no, old Rosanne would have obligated those parts of my inner child, myself, to meet his needs because I want his love and acceptance and approval, right? I did it
Mm.
with all my relationships. Surprise. So,
Yep. Been there.
yep, totally. So I said,
Mm-hmm.
no, my inner child, needs her needs met first. So I went to the farmer's market. We made some yummy food. We did a puzzle. When's the last time you sat and did a puzzle? I mean,
Fun.
oh, she was so freaking happy. I did the entire puzzle that afternoon, took a nap with her. I never
Oh my
took
God.
naps.
Love
Yeah,
it.
exactly. She was so happy and so filled up. The next day, I literally could hear her. She's like, we could do whatever you need to do. I was spackling walls. I was doing, and it was fun. She made it fun, Amy. She didn't drag her feet, make it miserable,
That's
resent me,
beautiful.
resent him, resent this house. Like, they are very simple, but we have to honor and respect them, meet their needs first, trust their word and what they need. And then the rest is just easy. And it gets real quiet up here. We're not thinking about what happened in the past, not worrying about the future, what's to come,
Mm.
because they teach us presence, and they
That
will
is
take you,
beautiful.
and they're amazing. They're the ultimate guides. I have clients all the time like, what guides do you talk to, or how do I meet my guides? I'm like, they
Mm.
are your guides. Like, no
Your inner
spiritual
children.
bypassing. You
Mm.
talk to them first, they'll give you all the answers.
That is beautiful. So yeah, so someone like me who's afraid I would get lost in, like, the 5-year-old land of just play, play, play,
Yeah, no.
is you're saying it's kind of unwarranted, that, or maybe even initially, like, okay, you might kind of be stuck there for a little bit, but eventually she's going to be like, okay, that's enough.
Yeah, no,
Right?
she's like,
Yeah.
yeah, like I said, they're very
Mm-hmm.
simple. They need to,
Mm-hmm.
it's more about the acknowledgement and getting their needs
Mm.
met, but it doesn't have to be all day. I mean, if you
Yeah.
just do a little bit a day, then you're good to go. I wasn't. I was still in that work, work, work mode. So I
Mm.
had to designate a day because I was
Mm.
very scheduled back then.
Right.
And then it would become, once I started talking to her daily, it's like, oh, we can go on this little hike. And then it would be a quick hike, and then I'd go about my day. And
Mm-hmm.
she would, and so it's not, she's with you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. She can hear you, see you, feel
Mm-hmm.
you. So
Mm-hmm.
it's when you're in the car, you're singing to her. You're singing
Mm.
that song, she's with you.
Mm-hmm.
You're at the store, you're like, would you like this? You're constantly in that dialogue with her.
Mm-hmm.
And then once they get to that place of liberation, like I said, there's
Mm.
no fuss, there's no nothing, because they know Big Amy's going to take care of me. I don't have to
Mm-hmm.
worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to squeak. I don't have to squawk. I don't have to throw a tantrum. Because I tell my clients, anytime you feel bitchy, scared, moody, anxious,
Mm.
angry, sad, depressed, that's usually little you vying for attention, desperate. Look at me. Look at me. What do all children want? Love
Mm-hmm.
and attention. Pay attention to
Mm-hmm.
me, mommy. Watch me. That's
Mm-hmm.
it. So once you give them that, they're very simple. And like I said, she would write my work emails. I mean, I'd be like, do you want to write this with me? Sure, because that empowers them. So bring them in to things. They're already there. So bring them in. What would you, she picked out your cute sweater today. Like, thank you for picking, like, what would you like to wear today? What would you like to eat today? And I promise you it's not cake. She knows
Yeah.
what you need. She does. And
That's
I do.
cool. I
And
love
I,
it.
my
I love
clients
it.
think that all they, so many ask me that, is it going to be cookie and cake? And I'm
Yeah.
like, no, I
Yeah.
swear they know what your body needs, and they want that too, because they're all about health and wellness and happiness and peace and harmony. And it's all connected. The body is no different than the energy around it. So
That is beautiful. So basically what I'm hearing you say is, like, once you kind of fill that deficit, it kind of normalizes.
yeah,
Like, I mean,
yeah.
initially, like someone like me who's neglected my inner child my whole damn life, pretty much, I might have to make a lot of initial
Yeah, I
deposits.
say,
But
yeah, I totally, I love that.
yeah,
Yes, I say, fill that cup. I say,
yeah,
and that's, you use the exact same word I use. I say, she's kind of in the deficit, so you're going to have
uh-huh,
to lay it on thick at
yeah,
first, lay it on
yeah,
thick with the compliments, with the
hmm,
acknowledgement,
the
with the
time,
validation, with the
hmm,
thank you, with the presence. And then it gets,
becomes automatically part of you again. You
yes.
integrate it. You integrate it.
Yeah, and then she doesn't have to remind you, hey, what about
Mm,
me? Hey, you forgot
mm,
about me. Hey, then
hmm.
it's just it becomes a new habit. And
Or
she's
like
just
what
like,
you said, when your little bitchy thing comes out, or like, why did I say that, or why am I snapping, or that's a reminder. Oh, I've been neglecting her. No wonder why.
oh yes,
That's
you
a
stop.
that's a
I
sign.
say you
Yeah.
stop immediately and you check in with
Yeah.
little you. Like, what do you
Hmm.
need? Are you scared? Are you sad? What is it?
Yeah.
Apologize immediately. I
Yeah.
apologize. I went unconscious there for a moment, whatever it was.
I love it. Well, this is just so bang on exactly what my show is about, and helping people, particularly women, balance their masculine and feminine energy. Because how many women, hello,
Totally.
just override all the desires, all that juicy,
Totally.
yummy, fun, indulgent,
Yes.
playful, buoyant, light energy that we all are as females, because we're trying to do the right thing, and we're trying to be responsible, and we're trying to be
Yes.
everything to everybody, and
Yes.
be the super women, and
Hmm.
God, how sad. And so our inner children, we take care of everybody else's kids, right? And
Yeah.
for people like you and me, the world are our kids, and our clients are our kids, and we're trying to nurture everybody. But wow, it's just so sad. Like, no wonder why
Yeah.
our divine feminine has been put in the closet, because we
Oh,
just
for
don't
sure.
really even,
Acknowledge.
feed her. Yeah, we don't
Yeah,
acknowledge her. So
absolutely. And it is a deeper program too, Amy. I mean,
mm,
we could, bring
yeah.
this up in another time, in another place, but it
Hmm.
does go way back to the desecration of
The
that
feminine.
split. We weren't supposed to be separate. It was
Mm,
supposed to be this unified divine feminine, divine masculine in all of us. And
mm,
I work with a lot of men that have a lot of femininity and a lot
mm-hmm,
of women that
mm-hmm,
have a lot of masculinity, because we have gone um,
mm,
outside of that congruency. And so it's bringing all those parts home so we can nurture those parts and validate those parts as the feminine and the masculine. And that's where we become completely integrated. That's the holistic.
Right on. And ultimately, that is the objective of my show,
I
because
love that. I know. It's
it
beautiful.
really is, because like I always tell people, it's not that I'm not a feminist. I'm about integrating and having the discretion to know when to use which one. You know,
Yeah.
you want to know, when do I need to be more in my masculine? When do I need to be more in my feminine? So you can be happy and fulfilled. So you can have a joyful, somewhat easy life, that you
Yes.
can self-actualize. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what it's all about. It's not like what you said, they're
Totally.
complementary. They're not competitive.
No, and you really can with any relationship, just because that's our internal relationship, but any relationship should be that complement. And it's like and I've had many relationships, and so I understand the incongruency of them, or the imbalance where it's like, oh well, that's the man's role. It's like, no, my husband cleans. Like, why is that my role? No, that's I cook, he can clean. That's I think that's fair. And so it's also knowing like when to rest, when to allow, when to receive. That's your divine feminine. When to take action, when to move, when to get things done. That's your masculine. And so they are counterparts, and having that beautiful dance being unified, so it's not so out of balance, which we were. And that was part of the patriarchal system, which is why so many feminine females went into their masculine dominant side, because we had to compete, or we had to survive. And there was not a lot of models. If you were a divine feminine, you were considered weak or damsel in distress. Those are all corrupted codes and constructs and programs that we work at clearing at a deeper level for not just ourselves, but for the collective. And so, yeah, this is why I call it multidimensional, because it's not just, like I said, it's not just your story, it's all our stories.
And to your point too, I mean, I know we're getting toward the end of the show, but my gosh, it goes so much deeper than that, even and inherently in the fall, and the whole thing with religion, and the subconscious programming that cultures have, that, you know, the female is the, you know,
for
the
generations, for eons. Yes. Yeah,
so
that's another show.
We got to heal that one on another show. We'll do that in 60 minutes next time. Oh my gosh, this has been so fabulous.